Good morning. How are you? It is Thursday, the 2nd of July. And I just wanted to pop in here real quick to front this audio that I recorded last night. Over the last week or so, I've had this inner nudging to share my experience of my reality right now, like what I'm experiencing. Specifically, this is about perspective and about my experience of God. And so I'm just sharing it with you. It's really raw. I swore a couple times, so please forgive me for that. But I'm just speaking from my heart, and it's my truth because it's been my experience. Okay, so I'm just sharing. So thank you for listening, and we'll check in with you soon. Okay, thanks. Bye. I have discovered that my inner world is of immense space. I finally understand why they say, as within, so without, as above, so below. I've been practicing a spiritual practice every morning with these exercises. One is a specific chant, and it's about, anyway, it's a triple chant. And then the other one is a heart of gratitude chant. Oh my gosh, I love that one so much. And then I do my heart coherence practice with heart math. And I have a specific breathing method, a teaching practice that was handed down to me by a beautiful, beautiful teacher. And also holding the earth in what the guides teach through Paul Selig as the upper room. And I've been doing this exercise for about, I think, 6 weeks now, which is about the time it takes to build a really good habit or a new pathway, a new neural pathway in our brains and the way our whole body functions as a result of the change that happens in the heart. Because it's all about the heart, right? The heart of gratitude. And since then, it feels like when I walk, in the park or in the forest, the birds sing for me, and bumblebees buzz right by, one bumblebee, right? Might buzz, right now a bee just buzzed right by me to say hello. It's like, hello. Instead of going, oh my God, it's a bee, it's going to bite me. I've just been experiencing a lot of really, really blissy, complete peace, absolute peace. It's like I was sharing with my lovely soul sister, Nina, online, that it feels like, the wind is caressing me when I walk. And I know that sounds so silly, but it really feels like my reality, my physical experience, in the way I feel and see the world is like constant kisses from Mother Nature, if you say, or like a hug. Hugs all the time. I know this sounds it's very difficult to explain, but that's my experience of my reality lately. And it's really beautiful. I mean, I'm learning about these amazing people from all over the world. So it feels like I'm gaining so many friends, but none of them are, some of them are in my country. I just haven't met them yet, but I'm aware of them. They're in my awareness. There's a beautiful Canadian girl I want to meet. She's in Richmond Hill, I think, and I think she's Sala on Raw. I just love her. Anyway, she's been mentioned a couple of times, did one YouTube video on treason and clones and executions and stuff, like some really good fringy stuff, which just stretches your mind and your thinking. And it's, if you had, this is the shadow side, right? And we're going to talk about this on the next Divine Feminine Roundtable. The shadow side is really, in physical form. It's like if you're a demigod like Thor, really fucking good looking, sorry for the bad language, and you have all kinds of money, abundance of money,
and superpowers, and you can do whatever you want and get away with it, what would you do, right? Like, that's the exploration of the shadow side, the experiences that you could have and learn from or destroy yourself from. And then the opposite of that, that would be anti-love, right? Because it's destruction. You could potentially do destruction, or you could do for good, or it's limitless what you could create. And then on the opposite of the shadow side, right? It's limitless what you could create to the heart of love, which is creation itself, right? Creation does not destroy. It does not destruct, although it could destroy and destruct to be remade. See, it's always a perfect system of creation, and that is the infrastructure. It's the infrastructure of nature. It's self-correcting, a perfectly harmonious ecosystem of billions and billions of intelligent species in perfect harmony with itself. That's the planet. That's Mother Earth. If we moved like just a couple of inches to the left in space, we'd like fry ourselves, or we'd be cold, like the sun is in the absolute perfect position to support life and support our well-being. And sun, the sunlight, our environment literally supports our life, or our environment literally destroys our life. So how do you view things, right? Because it's the perspective that allows us to create and experience our reality. Your viewpoint, the lens in which you choose to view the world, your reality, how you look at everything, how you decide everything that you see, that shapes your experience. That totally shapes your experience. And what I've been noticing for me is that it feels like Mother Nature is like in love with me, one tree at a time, one branch at a time, one bug at a time. I even look at bugs differently, for heaven's sake. Although I'm still not making friends with mosquitoes. I do ask for forgiveness every time. I'm like, anyway, yeah, there's stillness in the chaos always. There's peace. Peace can be found everywhere. And it really depends on how you choose to look at your reality and what perspective you're seeking to understand and experience. That is how magical life gets when you become aware that you're so much more than a human being. You're actually an incredible creation of God. And God is the infrastructure of everything that supports every possible experience you could ever imagine. That's how vast it is. It's incredible. Like double rainbows can be triple rainbows, can be beams of light from the sky and new species. And anyway, I digress. That's what I think about with God. I feel like I'm being blessed by the sunshine, warmed by its gift, kissed. It's really funny. It's very peaceful. And all of that amidst what's going on the planet, Really depends on what lens. What's your vibe? What's your vibe? Are you in your head or are you in your heart? Are you for love and exploring what that might look like? Or for anti-love and continuing to experience the darkness that tends to come with that particular experience? But all is allowed, right? It's about exploring your own experience and what you pay attention to, right? What are you paying attention to? Do you need an external stimuli? Like, oh my God, something good has to happen today in my world, otherwise I'm going to fucking lose my shit kind of deal, right? I used to absolutely think like that. Something external. In fact, I used to wait for particular channelings to come, right? I was looking outside of myself. I definitely remember a period of time when I would be waiting for Magenta to drop a new video, for sure. And getting readings, right? Like going outside of myself. And then I don't even know what happened in between that period of time, but it just got to where I would look for everything inside, like just quiet everything the frig down, turn the volume down on everything, and just spend some time in my inner world, and look at the shit that I feel, because this is about experience. You have to feel every interaction. Are you present? Anyway, that's what God teaches. Presence. Because tomorrow doesn't matter and yesterday's already done. The only way you can create is in the now moment. And that is the gift of creation, because we can recreate every single one of our fuck-ups, every single one of the things that we are so guilty of, and we hide in shame because we wish we never made that choice. Breathe. Wow, I got really emotional there. That was kind of trippy. Anyway, pull it together and breathe, right? We experience things, we feel things that make us uncomfortable or something. They get our attention. When we feel shit, we have to pay attention. That's the trigger. Trust the triggers. We've got to explore the stuff that we have hidden in the shadows, because this year of 2020 vision, it is all about the reckoning, the facing of the self and one's creations on an individual level and on a collective level, right? Like individually, like what have you created? What are the quality of the relationships that you have in your life, right? How much beauty and peace and fluidity and openness and love and kindness and compassion have you created in your life, right? Look at your reality. That's the individual reckoning. The wounds of old, where do they need your attention and healing? It's all about trusting the triggers, looking at that stuff, looking at that shit. We do that on the collective level. And then that is where we are witnessing everything that those folks that took physical form, that are sharing the planet with us, that have access to money and power, and have done terrible, terrible things in the darkness, that have harmed and limited the light on another. Can you imagine denying the light of love and creation to another? Can you imagine blinding somebody to that? Restricting that? Holding that back? That idea that would absolutely lift another. Can you imagine doing that? That's the exploration into the shadow side and potential. And that's the point about the light and the dark. It's polarity, so that we can create a choice or make a choice in our experience. And then eventually we get to the point, well, I'm not going to go with dark and just light, because there's a potential, because there's a gift in the darkness that we learn from, right? And then when we learn from something, everybody else can learn from it too, because we share a whole collective field, that whole electromagnetic energy field that we teach in heart math, right? Not the aura. We're so connected. And that is how, when you heal your shadows, when you look at your shit and find a way in your heart to forgive yourself, right? To understand it from maybe a different perspective than what you might have previously had. a different viewpoint, more compassion, more non-judgment, not as harsh, not a harsh judgment. Because as we begin to soften, we begin to unify those points of view, right? We begin to look at it from a bigger picture. We take a step back, or maybe 2 or 3, and go, hold on a minute here. I see that there's this beautiful dance, and they give me the figure 8 symbol right now. There's this beautiful dance. The wind and the rain and the sun, the light and the darkness. It's all about experience in physical form. And what do you choose to look at to inspire how you relate in the world? And every time you can look at one of your own shadows and go, well, I don't think I would do that again. I would totally not make that choice again. I would have more compassion. You would understand more. And that bigger picture perspective creates unity. It creates an even further balance, and somehow it's like the Trinity, the triangle, right? The potential, the creation, and the stillness, the complete void. It's like with the energy you can look at one thing or look at another. Anyway, that's it. That's what I wanted to share. As this little chipmunk does this is the guy I was talking to you guys about a couple of weeks ago. Remember when I was telling you I watched this little chipmunk and my Loki bear was on the deck? He discovered that he could see, we're on the 2nd floor, right? So he discovered he could see the chipmunk from the deck instead of like in the grass and hearing him. Anyway, bless you all. Thank you for listening, if you did listen. And if you didn't, bless you too. Talk to you soon. It's Paula. Cheers.